Oh, I am live. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Saturday Softpot Club. It's the 15th of August, and I'm appalled. Time's going so quickly. All the plants in the garden centres, well, they've shut down, haven't they? All the plants are long and leggy, and they're either doing their thing in somebody's garden, or they're beyond sale. Time goes so quickly. And very soon we're going to be back into the time of ericaceous plants. And I like that. But I always find the end of summer rather sad with all those beautiful, beautiful flowers coming to the end of their cycle. Welcome to the Saturday Softpot Club. It's Saturday the 15th of August, and I'm Annie Softpot. Annie Austin Meat, but everybody knows me as Annie Softpot. Let's have a look and see who's joined me. Oh, hello, Carol and Frank. Oh, lovely, lovely. Thank you very much indeed. Oh, excellent. Now, I don't know if anybody here is going to join. I'll keep talking for a while, and hopefully if other people join me, if you've got a kit, I'll make a soft pot with you. Oh, happy days. If not, if nobody's got a kit, I could show you soft pot stones again if you like. They're very, very popular. My garden now, a lot of my garden, it's gone to Henshaws. Not all the really, really special stuff, because there's lots of kids around there at the moment. They've brought in 40 tons of sand, and there's an enormous beach in the centre of the premises. And it's absolutely wonderful. And my little soft pot garden is all out there, all with the summer stuff. I've got my tomatoes, my vegetables, my big beans, my really, really tall beans, and everything's doing really, really well. So, yes. And I was a bit late today, so I didn't actually finish up running around bringing in all the remaining stuff that I've got in the garden, because some of it's still quite big and heavy. But I thought I'd bring in a few little things that maybe some of you have seen before. I mean, this little lady here, she was in York with me. I've got pictures of her. And I put her in the York shop, over 6 years ago now. And this is a little painted pot. Appleton Lamore's Women's Institute just shared your video. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Let them know that you appreciate it. Oh, yes, I do. I do. I really appreciate it. Oh, thank you very much indeed. Yes, I was actually at a Women's Institute. I gave a workshop at Kirby Malzard, actually, yesterday. I have to admit, I'm not very good when it comes to getting places, and I finished up going the most extraordinary way there, over the moors. It was absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. What a drive. I mean, I'm going to take my mum on that drive because it was so special. I mean, that whole area there, I mean, it's magical. Thank you very much indeed for inviting me out. Oh, thank you, thank you. I'm glad because I go to these talks, you know, and I just go for it. And I'm never quite sure what the reception's going to be. But this little lady here, this is a painted soft pot, and she's well over 6 years old. Now, can you see her? Can you see her false eyelashes? Now, as she's so old, I have to admit, I had her out on my windowsill when I brought her back from York, and she got a bit sad looking. And to be honest, I just wish life was so easy. I just gave her a facelift, and look at that. She's beautiful again, and very, very happy with herself. Look at that. And she's been flowering, so she's very, very happy. And this is just to sort of show you the sort of thing that you can do with soft pots. There's no limit. And because soft pots are so much better for the plants, actually when you make a soft pot, the likelihood is you've probably got it for life. I mean, I hope I have this little lady here for life because she's absolutely wonderful. And, ooh, I just love her. And then there's all sorts of other things as well. I mean, I've still got quite a few hangers because I haven't sorted out a sort of hanging area for my hanging plants at Henshaws yet. So I've got quite a few of my old hangers. And actually, I'll bring in my old friend. I seem to be bringing in my carrot off the washing line every week. But as you can see, she's doing really, really well. Can you see? What it is it's a soft pot dressed to look like a carrot with real carrots in the top. And what happens is that it'll just grow all the way down. Now, if I wanted to, I mean, there's no reason why I couldn't have a 6-foot carrot hanging off my washing line. But that seemed a bit extraordinary and it can get a bit difficult to deal with. So I just made my standard length carrot. And as you can see, it's very, very happy. And every year it does about 500 miles with me. Although this year it probably won't be doing so many because I'm not going on tour as I had planned. So, I'll just put that back here. There we go. Oh, and you remember this one. This one's still one of my very, very, very favourites. See, it's very pretty. Da-da-da-da. Can you see that? And it's got a little bit of jewellery. And it's as pretty at the back as it is at the front. And it's really quite slim. See? And that's one type of hanger. There are so many different types of hangers that you can make, you know, with a soft pot. Oh, so many. Gloms, drop hangers. I'll show you a drop hanger. This is a little drop. Where can I put you? Oh, I know, I'll just put you there. Where is it? Ah, here. Now, this is quite a big drop hanger. You can see. Very pretty, isn't it? It's beautiful. And again, when you look at the back, it's really quite slender. And that's been going for months and months. It's doing very well, very happy. Soft pots, you'll find that the roots grow normally in a soft pot. You don't get root spiralling like you do with a conventional terracotta or plant pot. Terracotta or plastic plant pot. Let's see if I can just pop that back there. And I'll show you one that's just been hanging off a tiny little tack on my back door. And I kept looking at this tiny little tack thinking that's going to catch somebody. So anyway, I made a little soft pot to just hang on the door. And that's got a nice little piece of jewellery in it. And it's just really tiny. And I just hang it like that off. Can you see? It just hangs off the little tack. And it's so pretty. Beautiful. And again, you see soft pots, they can wear jewellery, feathers, beads. How you decorate them is entirely a matter of personal taste. I learned long ago not to judge people when they're making soft pots. Because sometimes I used to think, oh no, I don't think that could ever work. And you know, they turned out to be the most beautiful. And that's what's also so lovely about soft pots. They're just non-prescriptive. Now, will that be okay then? Oh, let me just hang that up there. There we go, I think. That should be a bit... Ooh. Where did I hang it? I can't remember. There. Sorry about that, got involved with my hanging tree. Right, and, this is a form of clover. I really, really like it. And if you have a look, it's actually, the skirts, it's got a drop skirt. And that means that you can pull it down so that it finishes up having a very, very organic looking form. It's hard to see it, isn't it? There, but you can see some of the skirt there. I mean, soft pots are plants with personality. They really are. Now, I don't know if anybody there is has got a kit and is wanting to make a soft pot with me today. If you are, let me know and I'll make one with you. The thing is with this show, I'm limited to showing you only simple soft pots. There's an awful lot more to know, and I encourage you to join me. Either come to Henshaw's or let me know, and I'll let you know about a series of downloadable videos that I'm doing, so you can do it all from home. You wouldn't have to come trekking miles and miles and miles to come and see me. So yes, I mean, if that's something that could be of interest to you, just let me know. I mean, I'm on Annie at softpots.com. My website, softpots.com. You can always find me, Google me, or here on Facebook. Yeah. And the thing is that actually, last week I thought, I was telling people about kits, and I've come up with a new kit. My friend said, actually, some people might not have easy access to compost and gravel. Why don't you send them everything they need except for the plant? And I thought, actually, you know something, that's a good idea. So, with that in mind, I now have a one-shot soft pot kit. And it's got the compost mix, it's got the gravel separately, it's got everything that you need to make a soft pot, barring one small plant. And that's easy enough to get hold of, and it's a matter of your own personal choice, isn't it? But that is £10. It's only available on this channel today. Hopefully Steve's going to join me and he'll put up a link. But yes, that's a one-shot soft pot kit. As opposed to this one, which is £10, and that'll make, easy peasy two of my size soft pots, which is sort of medium size to large, on the small size. And that's got everything you need in it as well. The ring, the colour book, 3 balls of colour grass, soft pot gold, glittery bits, material, petticoat material, again, everything that you need. But with this, you need access to a little bit of compost, a little bit of gravel, and a plant. So, yeah, I've done that now. Steve will be pleased with me. He will be pleased. Now, if I put these a little bit out of the way, you know, I started this show off when it was at the beginning of summer, and I have to admit, I mean, soft pots go all year round. You can make the most beautiful presents for Christmas, Easter, every occasion you could possibly think of. You can make a bespoke soft pot, which is just the job for that occasion. And as we go into winter, I'll be going into all that sort of thing, and I'll be doing indoor soft pots. At the moment, I've realised I keep lugging things in from outside because it's summer. But then, if you stick with me, we'll go all the way through Halloween. Ooh, Halloween soft pots are really good. Christmas. Oh, yes, little Christmas puddings. You'll love them. Love them. Yes, soft pots go through all the seasons, and depending on how you dress them, every occasion. Yes, and well, actually, I've got one of my indoor plants. I have very few these days, because I've got so many. But this one's been with me for a long, long time, and as you can see, it's a beautiful. It's a nice pot, and this plant has been with me for a number of years, possibly 5. I mean, as I said, plants in soft pots last a long time because they're very, very happy. Oh, hello, Michelle. Oh, thank you for joining me. It's funny, you know, I was thinking of you just a few minutes ago. I put on my bracelet, and you remember you fixed my rainbow bracelet. The fix still holds. Thank you. Right, so now I've done quite a bit of talking, and I don't know if anybody's got a kit and is wanting to make a soft pot with me. Anybody got a kit? Anybody want to make a soft pot? Right, in that case then, I think what I'll do is make a soft pot anyway. Here I have a little thyme plant. What's this? Oh, I have to come round. It's such a tiny screen. Lovely to see you and glad the bracelet repair held up. Thank you. Yes, ho. And yes, this is a little golden thyme, and it's Anderson's gold, and it's beautiful. And you know something? There's something very special about thyme. If you eat a leaf of thyme every day, it buys you more time in terms of your life. They've done all sorts of tests. Tastes lovely. One leaf only, it's all you need. They've done all sorts of tests, unfortunately, and they found that consuming a little bit of thyme buys you time. And so this is actually a well worth tiny little plant to have. I mean, any thyme will do, thyme all. Anything that's got that oil in it. But isn't that pretty? Should we make a soft pot with this? Go on, go on. Yeah. You know, soft pots are suitable, are perfect for herbs. Absolutely perfect for herbs, because they don't like to be super dry, but they like good drainage. And one of the things that's really good about soft pots is that they're free draining. They hold the water because of the soft pot gold, but they are free draining. A lot of the time what will kill a plant is if it's standing, you know, if it's sitting in a puddle of water. And a lot of plants, I mean, quite literally, I mean, if you were sitting in a cold bath for weeks and weeks, it wouldn't do you any good either, would it? We all respond the same way. So yes, soft pots in that respect are much kinder to plants because they are free draining. And if you forget about them, the roots will come through and they'll find the moisture that they need. They're not prisoners like plants in ordinary pots. And then when you go to pick them up, you go ooh, ooh, and actually you can pull them up and the roots will have come through. And if you want it to stay back in its pot, just take your hand, rub the roots, and it'll go ooh, and it'll go back into its pot. I found that many times when I was travelling with gardens. When people say, "Oh, I'd like to come and help you water your plants," and I say, "Okay," but it was interesting because everybody went and watered the same ones, and other ones never got any water. And what happened was that when I went to pick them up, they were stuck, and the roots had actually come through the bottom of the pot, found what they needed, and they looked fine. But then when I went to pick them up, all the roots were coming through, and again, I just rubbed them off, pop them back onto the bus. Right, let's go. I've got a leg of stocking. Actually, if you want, I'll show you something different. No, that's not the right one. Stay here. This is a leg of stocking. It's a Tendenia glossy stocking. This is a Tendenia glossy. I do use different types of stocking, you know, but that sort of goes into the more advanced stages of things. But Tendenia glossy or shearer is perfect because all the glittery things shine through. If you use the really heavy duty ones, don't bother with any glittery stuff because nothing shows through. Right, as usual, I always start with a little bit of gravel. Just to give them some gravitas, you know? I mean, soft pots themselves are really light, and you can't go wrong. If you do a big hanger, don't bother with the gravel. But generally, if you're making a small one, it just gives them some weight. When you get to the bounce, then you're really pleased that you've got a bit of gravel in the bottom. And having said that, where is it? Just going to put in a handful. And I've got my ring, da-da-da. Gonna put it over the leg of the ring, the leg of stocking, over the ring, ooh, ooh, ooh. And I've got a mix here, it's already mixed up. And it's 1 scoop of Softpot Gold to every 3 scoops of compost. And that is the standard mix. You can adjust it, of course. If you've got succulents or cacti, you just put in less Softpot Gold and mix grit or gravel in, because you've got to stop the compaction, because the nature of a stocking is to constrict, and if you don't do something to stop that constriction, it will just kill your plant, kill your sculpture. It'll all just go all wrinkly and prune-like and horrible. So yeah, I would suggest don't bother. You want the right mix. Get Softpot Gold. You can get it from my website, softpots.com. It's got a little shop thing. And order it, and I'll double your order. Now, here we go. I've got gravel in the bottom, got my compost mix. I'm going to do the bounce now. Now the bounce, just what it sounds like. I'm just going to drop it on the floor and bounce it. Like bell ringing or something. It just instantly accesses your inner child. Children love this. Absolutely love this part of it. And when it gets down to the bottom, it's got a really nice, satisfying sort of thud. And there we are. You see the Softpot Gold in there? That is beautiful. It stays where it's put, and it's what makes the Softpot so well behaved. Now I'm doing the donut. Got my thumbs, put them in the middle and going round, and I'm not actually making a hole for the bottom of the plant. I'm actually going round and squishing the lumps if I find any, because lumps affect the drainage, and you don't want that. So, here we are, going round, squishing the lumps, and if I can't squish any lumps, put your hand in, get them out. No lumps in our Softpots, please. And there we are. And I'm going to get my hand in, and I'm going to walk it down, and I'm going to give it a stretch just to prepare it for what I'm going to do, ask it to do. Now, got my little plant. This is the most difficult bit about Softpot, is getting the plant into there in the first place. It's actually really, really easy. If you've got little children, just hold the leg of the stocking open for them. But if you're on your own, after a while you get really, really good at it, and it's not messy, unless it's a soaking wet plant. Right, got this. I'm going to open up the neck of that stocking any way I can, and just open it wide and drop the plant onto the top. Now, I'm not going to force it down. I'm just going to take the stocking right over its head, and I'm going to loosely tie that up so that I can undo it. And there we are, we've got the stocking, and there's the plant, there's the shoulder of the plant, and it's at this stage I always tend to think of them as a bit like children. You pop them into bed, and now all you need to do is bring up the blankets and tuck them in. And I'm going to get my hand, got my thumb on its shoulder, and I'm just going to lift up the compost from the sides up to its neck, and just go round and gently tuck my plant in. And you know, I mean, everything in the world, everything living needs a good home, a bed. And when you make a Softpot, you can feel it it's just lovely. Suddenly your plant has a body, and you know, you have a relationship with a Softpot like you'd never have with an ordinary plant in a plastic or terracotta pot, because you can actually feel it and touch it and squeeze it. It's a completely different feeling. Right, what am I doing? Doing simple Softpot. I'm going to take the end of a bit of tight there at the end, snip a bit off, got myself a loop, going to cut it again, pop it round, and I'm going to tie it. And just when it gets to the point I think, ooh, that's a little bit tight, that's where I leave it. But I can still get my finger through, see? Yeah. Now. This is the point where we dress them, and the world's your oyster. You can do all sorts of different things with a soft pot, but there are certain things that you do need to know about. Don't use, oh hello Steve, thank you for joining me. Oh hello Pippa. Oh, thank you. Oh, yes, hello to you and your lovely sister. Oh yeah, and Steve's put up, have a go. And next week, all you need is a simple kit. Yeah. Get a kit. Join me next week. But anyway, I'm just going to keep on going here. And I need a little bit of a petticoat. Oh yes, that's what I was saying about do's and don'ts with dressing a soft pot. Stay away from natural materials. You need, stay away from cotton, silk, sacking, anything natural basically, apart from colour grass, which is the one thing that is the exception to the rule. Everything else, stay away from that because it all goes slimy and horrible very quickly. And you don't even want to save the plant, it's that nasty. So don't, anything synthetic is fantastic. Yeah, and you'll go out there, once you've done 3 or 4 soft pots, you get what I call soft pot eyes. And everything you look at, you think, oh, can I put that in a soft pot? Or can I put a soft pot into it? Because of course, you know, they're squashable, mouldable. I mean, oh, what a liberation for your own imagination and the plant, of course. I mean, everybody wins with a soft pot. Right, let's have a little bit of dressing material. Now here I've got lots of organza, and I tend to use organza as a petticoat base because it works. It's a lovely sheer shiny material, and as a petticoat it's perfect, and it sets the tone for whatever colour. I've just ripped that down the middle, I'm wrapping it round, and I'm going to use that tie just to hold that material that I've got there. Yeah. One of the nice things, you know, when you're doing soft pots, especially with kids, is that you can build up lots and lots of layers, mainly due to the colour grass, without the need for pins or anything pointy sharp. Yeah. Soft pots are just the most wonderful fun that you can have, and there's not really any rules. As long as the soft pot is made right on the inside, like people, as long as as the soft pot is made right on the inside, with the soft pot gold and the right sort of compost, you can't go wrong. Right, here we are. I've got myself a petticoat. Now, I could add, let's have a look. I was going to say I could add some other bits of material. Ooh. Let's have a look at, what's that? Ooh, the ladies from the WI gave me some extra material, and it's just lovely, you know. I mean, when you have a soft pot club, everybody brings, you know, all their bits of old shiny materials, anything of interest, texture, things with holes in it, and oh yes, they gave me some of this, and it's just such a lovely thing to do, you know, is get together and have a soft pot session. I mean, it's a good thing for a hen, you know, for hen things and preparing for weddings and things like that. I'm just going to wrap a little bit of that round. Ooh, I rather like that. Thank you, ladies from the Kirby Miles RWI. I'm delighted with it. And then we move on to I can put lots of layers on here. This is the first layer, the base layer. And then, say I'm going to move on. I'm going to have a little bit of this green, I think. Now, colour grass is what makes soft pot so perfect for any situation, because it comes in wonderful colours, and you just fluff it up, light as a cloud, like that. And you can blend it, and you can twist it, you can do all sorts of things with it. And once it's sort of light as a cloud like that, just black it round the side of the pot, and that's the basis then of your fairy dress. I mean, you have to find your inner fairy when it comes to making soft pots. Well, actually, your inner fairy finds you. You don't have to go looking. Right, so here we are. That is my base. That is my base dress now. And I've just got... I can add other things to it now. I can add lots and lots of different sorts of materials and things. Now, let's have a look. Oh, my colours are off the line. Let's have a look. Trouble is, you know, actually, I mean, making a soft pot itself is really quite quick, but decorating it can take ages. It depends what you want to do, of course. Now, I find that if you're doing something and you want to incorporate white, don't put it right next to a naked soft pot, because it'll go off colour really quickly. If you put it on top of the petticoat, on top of everything else, then it works really well. And it keeps its colour. All these little things are sort of, you know, worth knowing. Now in the kit, you get quite a lot of, you know, you get, well, depending on the size of kit that you get these balls, and actually they go, you don't need loads of it. It just acts as a grip for everything else that you might want to chuck on top, or in it, or in the different layers. And I might put a little bit of green in. And yes, you can make a soft pot to match anybody's favourite colours, anybody's decorated room, and if they change the decor, just change the colour of the soft pot, because they're a bit like Barbie dolls, you know. Yeah, you just get fed up of one dress, you just put another one on, straight over the top. I mean, there are certain things that you need to know. You can't just keep on layering up, otherwise underneath it becomes hermetically sealed. You need to keep cutting off the foot so that it keeps it as thin as possible underneath. That's one of the golden rules really about soft pots. You have to leave enough. You can put quite a lot on the side, but underneath you've got to work to try and keep it thin so that it can absorb water and feed and whatever else. Right, let's get on with it. Ooh, glittery things you can never have enough of. Now this stuff is sort of like this Christmassy stuff. When you see things, get them. Don't wait. Christmas, Halloween, it's the perfect time. All things glittery and shiny. Fantastic. Now, I was in Ripon the other day and I found these in a funny little shop there. And they're just sort of like fake petals. And you know what you can do? You can just pop them in. These sort of things. You know, I sort of found myself looking at it. And then I thought, why am I looking at this? And then I realised I was looking at it with soft pot eyes. Yes, you can safely let out your inner magpie when you go soft pot making. It's a sort of justification for buying all sorts of interesting bangles, bracelets. I mean, one day, you know, the plant gets to wear the bracelet, and then the next day I wear the bracelet. We share. Same with the earrings and things like that, because when I make, you know, these sort of drop hangers, you can put earrings underneath and make them dangle, and it's just lovely, lovely. Right, I've put all these bits in. Let's see. Now, what else? Sequins. Sequins are always good. Can't really go wrong with sequins. Let's have a look. Have I got... I took everything with me when I went to the workshop yesterday, and so everything's all in different places. Now these are just some nice gold, bronzy sequins, and I'm just going to drop them on as well. Now, what did I do with them? Yesterday I told the ladies of WI that I'd show them how to make a collar, a bangle collar, and you know I completely forgot, so I do apologise. I'm going to show you now. Once you've got to this stage, you take your bangle, any sort of bangle. It can be a thick bangle, thin bangle, decorative bangle, doesn't matter, any sort of bangle that's right for the plant, the size of the plant. And what I'm going to do, this is the only time you can do it, is when the plant is in this sort of position. And just drop it over its head and down. Take some of the material and make sure that it's up underneath that collar. Just a little bit, doesn't need to be vast amounts. And then we're going to make our Softpot in the usual way. Just forget the bangle's even there. And then I'm going to undo this. This is grand denouement. Ooh, ooh, please, please don't come into a knot. Soft stockings, you know, are incredibly strong. Once you make a knot, it can be really hard to get them out. And Softpots themselves, you know, last many, many years. They do degrade, they do break down, they go into holes. And you can see it coming for many years. The holes just get more and more and bigger. And if you want to keep your pot, just whack another layer right over the top. But if they go into landfill, believe me, Softpots have a very, very vibrant inner life. There's worms, all sorts. I don't know how they get in there, but yep, Softpots, if they go into landfill, they would help by that point. Because if tights or stockings go into landfill without any soil in them, they can be there for thousands of years, because they really don't rot down like that. Anyway, let's move on. The grand denouement. Here I am. I've got my fairy. She looks like she's ready to go to the ball, I think. And I'm going to walk my hands down, and I'm going to stretch them out. There we are. See that shape? I'm going to put my thumbs on the back. And those two, I'm going to go grab, all the way down to the bottom, all the way round, as fast as I can. Because if by any chance you've got any compost up here, you don't want it to fall into your dress, because it can be quite difficult to get it out. So, here we go. At this point, I'm going to pick it up and put my hand on the only area that's clear. See, there? Get your hand over that area. Grab hold of its bum and don't let go. Now, with the other hand, pull it down over your arm. Don't worry about the bits dangling down. And as you're pulling, you'll see that that neckline is stretching. Now, you want that neckline to be nice and smooth. No wrinkly necks, please, ladies. And here we are. Pull it down nice and smooth. And just open it up enough to let that plant sit through that pot, because we're making a simple soft pot, which is one that doesn't spill. And then with your other hand, just shove up everything that is below the level of that of the pot's bum. That's it. Just push it all back up. In the end, you always finish up with a little bit underneath, but really try to work hard to keep it as clear as possible. And then I'm going to pull it down again, and let's have a look. And you can see, at that point, you can sort of see, you can see sort of what it's going to be like. But if I wanted to alter anything, I can get my hands up and I can move things around. I mean, you can move things around even when it's from on the outside. But at this stage, this is a good time to make sure that it's right. And so, yeah, you sort of fiddle around until you're happy. And if you left it just like that, it'd be quite dark. What you need is that pull. There, see? All of a sudden everything shines. Now, to get that, you have to do the twizzle. Now the twizzle is only something you can do, it's for our benefit. Not sure the plant particularly appreciates it, but it's over quickly and it will have many years of happiness in this pot, so it's worth it. Yeah, what you do, turn it upside down, grab it close to its bum, keep that out of the way, because it will try and get involved, and then spin. And by spinning, you're forcing as much tension into that stocking as you can get. And it makes all the colours pop out, sheer, see? That's really, really shiny now. It's a sort of magic, you know. Softpots is all about transformation, and you know, it looks like a whole bunch of chaos, and then suddenly it's transformed into something extraordinarily beautiful. And they're always different. Never ever make two the same. Right, so anyway, got to this bit, and what I'm going to do is just tie a knot really close to its bottom. And then once I've cut that off, sort of cut the umbilical cord, so to speak, and your softpot is born. Now, at this point, you can give it any shape that you want, and it will remember. And you can roll it, if you get your 2 fingers, roll it like that. It forces things out to the side. You can get your hand underneath and squish it out as well. There we go. I mean, it's funny, you can play with it for quite a long time. But I would suggest that, you know, it is a collusion between you and the plant. And you have to come to an agreement that you're both happy with. So, now, what am I going to do with this collar now? What I'm going to do with this collar is I'm just going to move some of that material back up into that collar area. Now, actually, this shape on its own is entirely valid. Can you see? I've just got an open rim there, and that's very, very nice. Now, if you want to define that even more, what you do is cut a slice of stocking off, get yourself a nice stretchy bit of string, tie a knot right underneath that bangle, and that will lift it up. I've tied the knot, and there. Now you have something that's a little more defined. Can you see? Huh. It's entirely up to you what you want to do with them. But that's very, very pretty. And there we are. There's my simple softpot with bangle. And you can make one too. Get yourself a kit. Please subscribe, share this video, get yourself a little kit, and Steve's put up the link, and the £10 kit is only available on this channel, and you too can make a lovely, lovely softpot. There's just something about them. They're beautiful, and they make you happy when you make them. They do. Can't explain it. It's something to do with working with the earth, the plant, your own creative spirit. It's very, very therapeutic, and you finish up with somebody who feels like your best friend. Yeah. So anyway, I've done it. Does anybody have any questions? I can't always see what comes up there, you know. I'm going to presume no. And I'm going to say, I think this is it for the Saturday Softpot Club for this week. Let's see where I am next week. And thank you very much indeed for joining me. Hope to see you very soon. Bye for now.